When Ruth was talking about this training and setting it up for the teams and strengthening the relationship of the team so you could get to some of the things on these cards, and I noticed one of the cards already touched upon it, is that it's been very hard ever since my aunt died. It's been hard for me to learn to deal with language. This is actually the first thing I think Ruth has roped me into for a while, because even teaching in the schools and with the kids, particularly that first year afterwards, was very, very hard, because the language reminded me of my aunt and of the time we spent together. So I just wanted to be honest about that part. It's not easy to build a good relationship. And the dangers of building a good relationship is that you miss it when it's not there. And maybe that's life, to being able to enjoy the good stuff too. But it's critical to helping all of us and helping the tribe learn the language better and be able to use it in situations that go outside your team. And whether it's in this room or out in the world, I think that has to be really the goal, is that we can use the language in the future, just like Karuk's talked it a long time ago. The negative things, or the things that they wanted to improve in their language team relationship, was that their master or fluent speaker needed someone to chat or talk with as well, so they could hear the language and help them remember. They also would like to be able to work every day so the words can stay with both the language teacher and the language learner. We found in the past that that's very helpful, and sometimes, and I don't know how easy it is, it's always, especially with the Karuk tribe, having a number of communities up and down the river, it's sometimes hard to get, but every time you get a focused, specific time where the speakers are speaking with one another and the learners are nearby being able to listen. I always remember in the past, Auntie would say, I woke up in the middle of the night and it came to me, and that word that I was thinking of, or that story or that phrase, and it just helps when people can get together and speak, and it helps you remember things for later. So that was a really good comment. I appreciate that. When doing documentation, all the preparation work beforehand and all the work afterwards has to be done, and you can't put it off. And the third thing that needs to improvement is wanting and needing to learn things that have a Karuk equivalent to things that we use and know in English. That's always hard. And the health of a language shows a language's ability to incorporate new words and new ideas, modern, current, everyday words, whether it's car or computer or video camera. The stronger a language is, the stronger that you have words for those things. When we first started working on the language and we were teaching in the schools, and Auntie had a whole bunch of vocabulary around baseball, and at first some people criticized that we made up a bunch of words ourselves, that, oh, why would Karuks a long time ago had a bunch of baseball language? Well, back in the 20s and 30s on the river, baseball was a very popular game. And it was popular at a time when there were a lot of Karuk speakers still speaking. And it was easy to, I mean, if anybody watches a high school kid, the high school kids seem to have their own language anyway. They incorporate and they use it in a way that adults sometimes wonder what language they're speaking. And I can imagine 75 years ago that there were enough Karuk speakers playing baseball that they could incorporate that into the language. And that's, I hope someday the tribe is strong enough again with that language that that you can invent stuff and bring it back into the language and have it used. Stories that they've experienced have to be retold, and I assume that means retold over and over, and that's absolutely true. And that's one of the things we've, again, when I read to my grandsons, they want the same story over and over, and sometimes adults don't like the same thing over and over. So I guess we got to try to learn like little kids. So that's the negative. These are the positives. That's right. You do it a few times and you got it right, hopefully. So here's some of the good things. These are this team is already closely related, and they already have a good working relationship, or a good relationship, and they're both eager to learn and to teach. See, I wanted to finish on a high note. I didn't want to finish on a low note. That's why I switched the order there. But this one said that their speaker is great at repeating when asked, which is really great, because that's one of the hardest things that we try to get the speakers to be able to do, is to find new and different ways and encouraging ways to say the same thing over and over and over. This team is good at training. They're good at food, which I also mean I guess they're good at eating, and they have a good teacher. This person said that 3 things that were safe about their master apprentice learning experience was that their speaker was always ready to work, and that they always were excited to learn something new, and they like to see other people enjoying those same things and learning from them, and that is exciting, and that's one of the things we started with, needing to create more safe places and more fun places to encourage speakers to be able to speak to one another, and learners to be able to listen to that. On the negative side is a certain sadness sometimes with the relationships you build and lose. Need more people to speak. The master needs a partner sometimes to speak with. Your teams need to meet more often. Learners don't always speak right. It's hard to lose your master speaker. Sometimes they just move away too. Sometimes, or you move away. Young people doing work, I know in the past that's been part of the problem with continuity. Preparing work for documentation, finding Karuk equivalents for modern terms, more money for mileage, too long of a commitment, criticism, not enough time to work together, use English too much, and stories have to be retold. That's on the negative side. On the positive side, some people are already closely related or already have a good working relationship. People are eager to learn and to teach. Speaker repeats when asked. There's been good training and good food at trainings. There are some good teachers. When people come always ready to work and always ready to learn, it helps. Seeing other people enjoy the language and to learn the language is exciting for most of us. Talking in the language, teaching people who want to learn, and getting children to learn and speak. I have a daydream about language that I haven't seen a tribe really do yet, but I have an idea for a foundation that is build a house, save a language. And you know, housing authorities, there's all kinds of rules that we have to go by, and I appreciate those rules, but I thought of a foundation, just kind of like Master Apprentice and language learning programs are usually started with you're usually related to the person who's teaching you the language. Well, obviously, if you had several houses in the same neighborhood, you could really begin to see intergenerationally a number of children, through older, if they live together. And it's like, build a house, save a language, build several houses together, and be able to have that language time.